What is the physiologically? What is dementia? In a nutshell.
A whole range of diseases that affects off functioning of the brain, and as you say, memory is the forming memories, the classic one, but if you could pick up bits degenerate from all sorts of diseases, then you get all sorts of manifestations of a lack of memory function or social function, behavioural function. It's a brain failure.
So, and is it something attacking the bits of the brain, or is it just failing? Are they bits of the brain kind of more failing, or just sort of naturally? Well, not naturally. I'm just trying to get a picture of it because I really don't physiologically understand.
Well, and you're going to correct me on this because it's not mine. But there's a range of it, and Alzheimer's the classic one.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most maybe the most common.
Yeah.
And that's a disease where the neurons of the bits of the brain just get tied up in proteins and stop working.
Okay.
And then the next one is vascular dementia, where little strokes or little bits of bits of brain die off because they don't get enough blood for whatever reason. Yeah. And lots of little strokes. Okay. Cool. And then there's less common ones that are beyond mine, but there's interesting ones. Lewy body is a one which I know about because the drugs that we use make those people particularly worse. Yeah. And visual hallucinations is part of that dementia. So it's not a behavioural stuff and social interaction stuff. And frontal lobe dementia, where the memory is actually okay, but people have no insight, and their social cues go, and they may be quite disinhibited and have behavioural problems, and that's another sort of dementia. Yeah. Which kicks off from, I guess, 40-ish. I don't know how early we see people with dementia, but 40s comes to mind. Some people on the program might have to face. Yeah.
It's very rare in younger age groups, and it really is age gradient wise, and that over 85 is when we get into significant numbers, 25% and in the 30% in your 90s, but so it's related to getting older, and it's probably a sign of a successful Western society. That there's a lot of people getting dementia that haven't died of cancer and heart disease and other sorts of things. So I'm a big believer in language, and we get a lot of what you call catastrophic demography around dementia, or lots of predictive issues, where we talk about them. My mother just rang me up this morning because she gets a bit worried about her memory. She's in her 80s. She's really indignant at an article in the Dementia Post, paper that talked about a tsunami of dementia on the way, and huge numbers of ageing and catastrophe. She said, look, there's already a bit of stigma when you're old anyway, and you're going to the front room, and then you're getting maybe this tsunami of dementia. We know we're going to get a lot of older people with dementia. It's just purely related to having a lot of older people. There's issues about planning. But it's not like an epidemic or something unforeseen or anything like that. And lots of people, if they get it, they've got it when they're really old. It's unlucky when you get it when you're younger. And it's a sign. It just goes with aging, or the numbers. And I always, dementia itself is not a very good term in Latin. It makes you about mind. It's quite stigmatising. The whole word stigmatises people. A lot of people dementia talk about they get a diagnosis and then they locate themselves as having dementia rather than having a job or being a mother or a father or a brother. It's I've got dementia, and there's a bit in the literature around probably cognitive impairment would be a better term. Because you say there's multiple diseases, multiple patterns, multiple progressions. Some people get some symptoms, some people get other symptoms. Progression is highly varied. But if you get a diagnosis, I think you read all the catastrophic stuff and then it's all going to happen to you. But you may or may not do. Well, you're going to get some of it.
Some of it, yes.